This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. McLean accused of misleading lawmakers on NC-TVET transition. While the Ministry of Education and Youth struggles to iron out the lingering policy issues that have left two critical training institutions in limbo, lawmakers turned up the heat Wednesday on a senior ministry official for allegedly misleading a critical oversight parliamentary committee. On July 28, 2021, then acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Grace McLean, told members of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee that the National Council on Technical and Vocational Education and Training was in transition and not yet within the ministry's structure. Her remarks contradicted those by Chief Technical Director in the Office of the Prime Minister Wayne Robertson, who had reported to the committee that NC-TVET had been reassigned to the Education Ministry from Heart Trust NSTA since 2018. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister Audrey Swell told the members of the PAAC that the transfer of NC-TVET to the Ministry of Education was gazetted in April 2018. As far as I am concerned, it has been there since, Swell said. Chairman of the PAAC, Michael Phillips, reminded his colleagues that the last time the issue was raised during committee deliberations, McLean had said NC-TVET was not yet transferred to education. Swell told the committee that because of her previous experience at the Ministry of Education, she engaged the then acting permanent secretary to help advance the process. According to Swell, at the time she had dialogue with McLean and the then Chief Technical Director to offer her assistance in the transition and the processes that should have been followed to ensure full integration of the training agencies. So I am to be advised what it means that it is not in education, and I am not trying to make anybody look any way. The truth is the truth, and the evidence is there, Swell said. Committee member Juliet Holness said that despite attempts by a technocrat from the OPM to correct McLean, she was adamant that she was not aware of the transfer to the Education Ministry. Listening to you now, P.S. Swell, it would appear that as per Gazette, it would have been transferred. However, it would have been on autopilot for 3 years to the disadvantage of the Jamaican people, said Holness. Trelawney Northern Member of Parliament Tova Hamilton said she has received numerous complaints from persons who said they have not yet received certificates from NC-TVET. For whatever reason, the organization is not operating as it should because it is obviously in limbo. For whatever reason, I don't know why the Ministry of Education did not want to accept the entity, Hamilton said. Asked to comment on the issue, Acting Permanent Secretary Maureen Dwyer told the committee that the Cabinet submission was being reviewed by the Solicitor General for clarification on certain issues. As I understand it, the transition, which we admit has taken some time, Dwyer said. However, Holness stopped Dwyer mid-sentence, noting because you are new you would get off with such an answer. She charged that McLean's utterances on the issue were either an unfortunate response of not being truthful, not knowing, not realizing, but there was no sense that any transition even started. Phillips contended that while young people are being urged to get qualified, the country's premier training institution had been languishing in no man's land for 3 years. It is, for me, a dereliction of governance overall, he added. Fitz-Jackson committee member urged the Education Ministry to assume full responsibility for the entities while the various processes are being completed. One fatality in P.J. Patterson Highway accident. There was one fatality in a major accident that occurred along the P.J. Patterson Highway yesterday. 4 other persons were seriously injured. Video footage emerged of the carnage with bleeding commuters strewn over the grassy rise while passers-by helped others from the wreckage of the overturned coaster bus. There was one body that lay lifeless on the road, reportedly the driver of the Nissan Tida involved in the accident. Reports are that about 12:40 p.m., a Toyota coaster bus and a Nissan Tida were in the eastbound lane when the crash happened near the Spanish Town exit in the vicinity of the Marchpen Bridge. Eyewitness reports are that a car lost its bumper and was reversing along the thoroughfare when the bus collided with the car. The bus overturned, resulting in many persons being badly injured. The bus reportedly plies the St. Elizabeth to Kingston route. There were approximately 30 people aboard the bus at the time of the accident. There have been 25 fatalities from road crashes across Jamaica since the start of the year. Edgerton Newman, president of the Transport Operations Development Sustainable Services, expressed the sadness at the loss of life. We express our condolences to the family of the man who died. It was an unfortunate accident, but how can you be reversing in the middle of a major thoroughfare? The man could have easily walked back to pick up his bumper. Reports are that he was turning the car around as well. The passengers said that it was the bus driver's skill in causing the crash to unfold the way it did, while there was no fatalities in the bus, Newman said. Newman said that there is a common misconception that PPV drivers cause the most fatalities on the nation's roads. People feel that once a PPV is involved, they blame the PPV. However, taxi and the bus operators cause the least amount of fatalities. Yes, they are indisciplined and they cause quite a number of fender benders, but they cause less than 1% of fatalities. There are only 6 to 7 fatalities caused by PPV operators, and the stats are there to prove it, Newman said. Police move to target motorcycle-assisted robberies. In the wake of an increase in the reports of robberies in the division, the St. Catherine South Police have intensified road policing operational activities geared at maintaining public order and also disrupting criminal activities. The police prosecuted 25 motorcyclists on Wednesday, January 19, for a variety of traffic offenses such as failure to wear helmets, not having proper documentation, and not adhering to the road code in terms of pillion riders. The activities appeared to be aimed at preventing robberies and apprehending persons suspected of carrying out robberies across the division. Members of the public will see increased policing activities along major thoroughfares as we aim to restore order and maintain public safety throughout the division. These operations will continue, and we ask that citizens understand the minor inconvenience sometimes, Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, Operations Officer for the St. Catherine South Police Division, said. Last week, a lone gunman robbed a female constable of her weapon and almost $300,000 in cash in Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday in the vicinity of the Sovereign Village Plaza. He escaped on a waiting motorcycle. Foreign Ministry monitoring case of Jamaican who died in the U.S. under mysterious circumstances. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said it is monitoring the case involving Jamaican Peter Spencer, who died under mysterious circumstances in Venango County, Pennsylvania in the U.S. on December 12. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith has received updates via the Consul General in New York, Alson Roach Wilson, who has sought information from Jamaica's liaison officer to the New York Police Department on behalf of the government. The Consul General has also been in touch with Mr. Spencer's mother and provided guidance in terms of legal assistance and community support. It is reported that Mr. Spencer, who was 29, was shot 9 times while on a hunting trip with 5 white people. His family has complained that they have not received a satisfactory explanation for his killing. 2 security guards charged in connection with a robbery at Red Stripe. The police have charged 2 security guards in connection with the Boxing Day robbery at Red Stripe on Spanish Town Road in Kingston. Michael Horton, 30, who is from Oakland Road in Kingston, and Kemar Forbes, 22, a resident of Gordontown, St. Andrew, have been charged with robbery with aggravation, illegal possession of firearm, and warehouse breaking. A statement from the police says the men were implicated as investigators continue to probe the theft of 1,440 cases of liquor from the Red Stripe warehouse. 2 others have been charged in relation to the case. They are 32-year-old Christopher Rose, a truck driver of South Street, Greenwich Town in Kingston, and the 23-year-old Hudson Skyers, a security guard of Tulip Parkway in Albion, St. Thomas. It was reported that robbers tied up a security guard who was on duty and gained access to the warehouse. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.